Hello and welcome.
Welcome to the first show of the new year, 2022.
Christening this year off with a brand spanking new show.
Yes, shiny and new. Well,
Fresh off the presses.
right out of the box.
Okay, so.
Well, this is, as you guys know, I'm Jarrett.
And I am Jimmy.
And we wanted to say thank you to Big Nerd Coffee Company for sponsoring this episode. They're our sponsor for the new year. Start your year off great with some great caffeine and great choices. Did you know I just picked up a new blend?
No, what kind is it?
Elder Bean.
Elder Bean.
Elder Bean. You know, I am just a sucker for anything that H.P. Lovecraftian, so I had to get it. It's a nice dark roast and keeps me up all day long.
With the knowledge of the eldritch horrors that exist outside our cosmos?
Yes, if you do the Elder Sign, you might just make it out with your sanity. But it would cost.
Moving on.
Okay.
Okay.
New year. We have a couple plans. We're going to be having some guests on this year, and February is going to be a love theme.
What kind of love?
Lovecraftian.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. The presence of Lovecraft. Does that mean that there is a laugh craft?
I think there might be a pray craft and eat craft.
Ah, do you think they get along better than the live, laugh, love?
No, they're even worse, even more
insufferable. They're even more insufferable. But today we're going to be going over some of the TV shows and movies that we saw this year, what were disappointing and right on the money.
Okay, all right, why don't you go first? You seem to have this in the bag.
Yeah, so the one I wanted to start off with is a movie that I thought was going to be bad, but it ended up being really good and I enjoyed, and that was Shadow in the Cloud.
I guess you want the visual. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
Shadow in the Cloud with Chloe Moretz.
Chloe Grace Moretz?
Chloe Grace Moretz. I didn't think this was going to be very good. I saw the trailers. I really wasn't that interested in it. But then it came across my Hulu. And I decided, let's give it a watch. Not only was I pleasantly surprised by the soundtrack, which was exactly like what I like, but the performances were really good. The aesthetic was awesome. The dialogue was a little bit wonky, but you know what? I didn't really care.
Now, this movie seems like it was one of those ones that got zero publicity, like because I didn't hear about it at all until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it got pretty much very little publicity. No one really went to see it. You know, it obviously getting released during the pandemic. It's not really going to do that great, but
that was a pandemic movie.
That was a pandemic movie. Came out in 2020.
Oh God, why does it feel like that's a million years ago?
We've technically been in it for about 2 years now.
Oh God. Okay.
Happier things. This was a really good movie. You know, it's kind of like a thing where I'm like, I don't really see a lot of actors and actresses being able to do certain things, but this was a very fun movie. It kind of really knew what it was, and it played it up perfectly.
It looks like a World War II movie.
Yep, World War II movie. I'm not going to spoil it because I actually do genuinely encourage you to see it.
Okay.
It's got some twists and turns. I didn't like all the twists and turns. Like there was a couple of twists in there that I didn't exactly agree with.
I'm more of a turn than a twist guy myself. So.
Really? I'm kind of more of a switchback kind of person,
A little bit of a hairpin turn.
Yeah, hairpin turn, maybe like a hairpin turn. Yeah. But I actually really like this movie, and I encourage you to see it. The action's it's kind of subdued, and then it just goes all out. It's really gnarly.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's rated R, and it pulls zero punches. Because when I first saw like the trailers for it, I was like, oh, this is like a the girl boss PG-13 movies.
Right.
That are like really bad, but this is primo
stuff.
Yeah. Everyone, I think these days people really want something to be like 100%,
right.
Get an Oscar or nothing. And this was not an Oscar kind of movie, but this was a movie you could just sit down and just enjoy.
It was good for what it was, but it's not gonna be garnering any praise from the Academy.
No, but it garners praise from my couch, and everyone did a bang up job, acting wise. line delivery.
Sure, it didn't get the golden statue, but it got you sitting on a couch going, neat.
Yeah, I liked it. You know, it kind of suffered from like budgetary restraints, but I like this way better than something like Jurassic World or something. You know, like something this movie is a really good B movie, like a solid B movie. So you're looking for something good, right there.
Right.
And Chloe's a great actress.
Oh,
like there's no way she gets enough acclaim for what she does.
No, she's. I mean, yeah, like what's she's done like when I first heard of her, she was Hit Girl in Kick Ass, which was an interesting performance to say the least. And then she's been in like tons and tons of movies since then, like ranging from comedy to like serious drama to something like this.
Yeah. The first movie I saw her in was Let the Right One In. The vampire movie.
Or that's just Let Me In, right?
Oh, it was based. Yeah, Let Me In. It was based on the movie Let the Right One In.
Okay.
She was amazing in that too. And then I realized, oh my god, she's like that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
she's come a long way. She did a really good job.
This movie's not that old. It's only 30 years ago.
30 years.
I remember seeing this in theaters. So
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I get that gives that one. I didn't think it was going to be good, and it ended up being really good.
Right.
So Jimmy, what movie this year did you think was going to be bad, and then you watched it this year and you realized it was really good?
Okay, so here's the deal. I don't watch movies if I think they're going to be bad.
Really?
Yeah. Like
not even like to try it?
No. Well, okay, first of all, I've got so little time. One thing that 2020 brought is that I'm going back to school, so that takes up a large portion of my time. I can't devote it as much time as I'd like to watching movies, trying new things. I gotta know something's gonna be good. I gotta know it's gonna be good.
You gotta put in the time. It's gotta be worth it.
Plus, my fiance and I, Caitlin, we sit down. We wanna watch something good. Like it's not just me. I'm considering. I can sit through a bad movie. But I'm not gonna force Caitlin to sit through.
You're making sacrifices for the ones you love.
Yes.
Okay.
But quick aside, turned out I just found out the other day that Caitlin has never seen Ferngully.
Really?
Yeah, the 1990s.
Are we going on a tangent?
Yeah, we're going on a tangent.
It's
an Area Nerdy 1 tangent.
Dude, why can't we get an animation for that?
Well, we need one now. So, I told her that she can skip pretty much all of Ferngully except for Toxic Love.
Oh.
Which I'm going to bring up the animation here. There he is. There's Tim Curry's character Hexus.
Why am he so sexy?
So I told her, I was like, that you have to watch Toxic Love. It is far and away the horniest animated film villain song ever made. Like, there's no way it needs to be. Like, look at this picture. Like, he's a smoke cloud demon, but they were like, we're gonna make him extra horny. Like, and Tim Curry's like,
slathers it on.
Yeah, so I did a little research. Turns out the version that was in the movie, the song, was the toned down version of that song. They had to take some lines out to make it just a little bit less.
So can we get the release of the hornier version, please?
I don't think it's possible.
I am straight and I am in a very good relationship with a woman, but I would let Tim Curry's smoke demon monster just have his way with me.
Like look at him. He's freaking yoked.
Look at those biceps.
He has no physical form, and yet he's yoked.
Yeah, but he chose to look at those triceps. Look at those traps.
This monstrous toxic smoke demon is trapped in a tree for what we can only assume is thousands of years. He gets out. The first thing he does is get jacked and do a super sexy music number for no reason whatsoever.
Lest we forget, he started out as a very, very pudgy blob monster, and then he got swole as fuck.
Yeah.
So he put that work in, and look at the definition and those pectorals.
So imagine being the writers, like they're going over the script with Tim Curry, and they're like, "Hey, Tim Curry, so this is Hexus. He's a jacked smoke demon. We got the song called Toxic Love. Yeah. He looks, here's the lyrics. It's super horny. You think, say nothing more.
Say nothing more." And he just lends that chocolate river that is his voice candy, and we just sailed right down it.
All right, so
I'm sorry, that was
quick aside because this that just popped up in my memory, and turns out Caitlin hasn't even seen it.
What'd she think of it?
She hasn't seen it yet. I gotta show her.
Oh, she hasn't seen it yet?
No.
Did she see the picture of Tim Curry's monster and she didn't want to see it yet?
I haven't even brought it up to her yet. Maybe
no, that's how you should sell it.
Lead with Hexus. Who, by the way,
lead with Hexus, lead and then leave with Sexus.
I think
you don't gloss over what I just said. I just put everything into that.
It's the last piece just fell into place.
Fell right in.
So I think that Hexus gets a spot on my Council of Fictional Evil.
But you're not going to get anything done because you're just going to you're going to be flirting with him. He's your office crush.
Well, I mean, like, it's full of people like Sauron and stuff who are, like, asexual, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, first of all, Sauron fucks.
A lot.
Sauron fucks.
But he's got an industrial complex fetish.
Yeah, like he's the guy from TikTok going around going, I like oil. I hate the boy, not enough oil. Yeah, but Hexus is on the same page as that guy because he likes industrial.
How did he make a song that makes just pollution sound hot?
Yeah, it made me want to pollute.
It was the Dare program of pollution. It's like, oh yeah, the moral of this movie is don't pollute, save the rainforest. But we're like, that number had me thinking like I should like go tip over a truck or something.
And then you gotta worry about the people whose sexual awakening is like Texas's like second or third form when he's like this flaming skeleton, and they're like, that's it, that's the one,
and that's did it for me.
There we go.
Right.
But Jimmy, what movie did you think was going to be bad and turned out to be good?
Like I said, I didn't watch any movies that I didn't think was going to be bad, so I'm gonna skip to the next
Wow.
section. Yeah, I'm bitching out and skipping to the next section.
So you don't have any like honorable mentions?
Something that I thought was going to be bad turned out to be good.
No, just like random one.
Just a random one. All right. So here's what I'm gonna mention. I'm gonna say Black Widow.
Okay.
Because we went and saw that in the drive-in, and I thought it was gonna be your normal, Marvel fare, which in many ways it was, but also Scarlett Johansson gets her shit wrecked through that entire movie, and it's got like a subtle, like maybe not so subtle. It's got like a underlying message of like, child and women exploitation, and the main villain was like so Harvey Weinstein-esque that like I was uncomfortable watching it. Like, so like I won't say it was like my favorite movie or even like an exceptional movie, but it like was a gut-punching movie in ways that I did not expect. So
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
ScarJo.
Yeah. She like there's a scene where she like slams her face on a desk and breaks her own nose.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's something you don't really see a lot with some female leads, is that their characters really don't get hurt that much. But
it's not even that her character got hurt a lot in this movie. Like they put her through situations that she 100% couldn't survive. She fell 50 feet onto like multiple metal pipes.
Oh,
and like flipped cars. Like the car flips, goes down into the subway, and she and Florence Pugh just like get out and like dust themselves off and like, well. There's some.
Do you think does that mean like they're like metahumans?
No, they're not metahumans. So, but the Marvel universe kind of plays fast and loose with those rules because so like with someone like Captain America who's not like super duper metahuman, but he's still more than so you get the idea like okay he can like fly through a windshield and get up because he's got like superhuman durability.
Right.
Versus someone like Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, or Black Widow, who are human. Like they Sam is like flying under trucks and like getting all like whiplash alone from those types of things would kill a normal human. So they're still playing kind of.
He's trained to do that specifically. That's his thing.
It's kind of, but you can't have a person that just runs into a brick wall with a car and then gets out scot-free. Like that's not something that is realistic. Like, it's a Marvel movie, it's comic books, it's realistic, but you can't have people who are unsuperpowered like doing shit like that and not having consequences.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I like about Hawkeye a little bit, because there's like a scene where he and what's her face, Kate Bishop. They go back to they're like recuperating and go back to the apartment. He's like, here, let me do this, and he like bandages her eyebrow. He's like, you don't want this to get infected; it'll ruin your week. He's like, there now, let's stitch back quicker, and then that's kind of like saying, okay, yeah, these people are human. They have to like heal. Like they're not gonna, they can't just like get beat the hell out of them.
Yeah. But the next subject you wanted to talk about, the next category was
movies that I thought was going to be good, and they were good.
They were
because
good.
I only watch movies that I think are going to be good.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. And it was Paper Tigers.
My suggestion.
Exactly. Well, I knew that this movie was going to come out, but I didn't know when it had come out on Netflix. Like, I knew for like a year in advance that like this movie was being released because I read about it in like Black Belt magazine or something.
Right.
Which is still a thing. I'm really surprised that they still have that in print. So they, so this movie is an indie movie, first of all. Mm. It's an indie martial arts comedy. And get this, it's really good. It's self-aware, but it's good. It never like it never like lets the audience down with its self-awareness. Its fight scenes are very well choreographed, to the point where it's entertaining and it flows good, but kind of like they made it like realistic in that like, okay, this is what it looks like if someone like they're in a scuffle and like we're gonna like mesh the two.
Yeah.
So it's not like flowing, wire fu, but it's not like it's not like shaky cam, just guys wrestling around either.
Yeah, and it's to kind of piggyback off of what Jimmy said about Black Widow, is that these characters go through like pain, and you can see it. Like they're not invincible. If they get hurt, they're hurt.
Yeah.
For the rest of the movie, basically, and that's something I really liked, and that it was very realistic, but it had a lot of heart.
Yeah, and the characters were great. The dialogue was good. Like you actually felt for the characters, and you felt for the story. Like the one thing I will say is that the villain was like maybe a little bit over the top as far as like semi-spoiler. Okay, so the villain is a martial artist. He was almost superhuman in his abilities because he could like at one point he like lifts that he's got his motorcycle is tipped over. He just with one arm picks it up and like tips it right back up, which is a really cool scene. Like he intimidates them by just doing that, but it kind of dips its toe into the fantasy element on that point.
I think the point of him being like this almost superhuman person is like even at like these characters' best, like because these characters are all like friends from the past, even at their prime, they wouldn't be able to take him on.
Right.
Like the point is that he is just that of everything that they've ever learned, he is what they would have tried to aspire to be. This is the perfect fighter. This is like the perfect like pseudo meta human. Like that's kind of the point of like why he could do that and why he was like so like strong and like durable.
Yeah. And like I said, that scene actually worked really well because it kind of, they're having the kind of comedic moment, and then they look over and they see that, and it like cuts through it and like really like lays the groundwork for how serious that situation is.
Absolutely.
Like what could happen if they take this guy on.
Yeah. Great movie. Netflix hit it out of the park with this one. This was great.
Yeah, I really hope that these guys get together and make a sequel and or
just like another movie like this.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Paper Tigers, 10 out of 10.
Paper Tigers, 10 out of 10. A movie that I thought was going to be good and was good, and it was Dune. Dune. We're still reading the book. I'm still reading the book.
I'm still reading. So we'll do a full-on review of the book when you're done, but like one of the major things like, especially on TikTok I was seeing about Dune the book is everyone's like, "Oh, it's so difficult to read." Like I enjoyed it immensely, and it was like, of course, this we'll do a full in-depth review later.
But it's shot beautifully. It's so good. I loved it a lot. It's a little slow in parts. It's definitely a little slow in parts. But you kind of get the idea that even in the like what the books really hammer home is like we're only getting to see a very small part of this massive story.
Yeah. And even then they don't describe it super well.
Yeah, no, because you're learning along with the characters themselves. It the battle scenes were awesome.
Mhm.
I loved it. The one thing in like the original and the sequel or like the miniseries was the Soldat, the Imperial Guard, the Imperial Army.
Sadokar.
Sadokar. These Sadokar soldiers were supposed to be like this very intimidating, the pinnacle of soldiering, and you never really got that in like the movie or the TV
The
series.
mini series where they got the big old floppy beret hats.
Yeah, exactly. It was really weird. But in this movie, it's just like they hammer it home, and it's really good. The Baron also fantastic. Everyone's fantastic in it. Zendaya was just basically looking over her shoulder the entire
Yeah.
movie. That was like her. That was her character.
Yep, and Zendaya was there.
And yeah, but I'm excited to see how she's gonna do moving forward.
I believe the rumor floating around was the director mentioned that she's the main character in the next movie, basically.
Well, to be fair, like in the books in the series, because I know it happens because I read some reviews on that. It basically Paul, the main character, kind of just isn't there for most of it. He actually becomes like a pseudo messiah figure, and that's like the point of the book series. And that's the wrong thing to have.
Yeah, he gets sidelined by his own legend, basically.
Yeah, and then So, but a very, very good movie. I saw it in the drive-in, which was gnarly.
Yeah,
That
drive-ins
was-
are great. We want more of those.
Yeah, but it was cold that night.
Oh,
So like I saw it with my girlfriend, so we had like open up the hatchback and like put on like 3 layers of blankets just so we could stay warm.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but it was really good. The sound
Wait, yeah.
phenomenal.
What you guys need? Big old thermos of hot chalky. Just
Actually, we both don't like hot chalky.
so, okay. Shut up. Never mind. You don't. You. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I thought it was a big deal.
So yeah. So one cool thing about Dune, like when they're doing a book adaptation,
When they're doing it.
when they're doing a book adaptation. So everyone who's read the books knows the story, they know what's going to happen, etc. But when really they're trying to capture the fans, but the fans already know what's going to happen. So you fill in with the visual spectacle. That's what they're going to see the movie adaptation for.
Yeah.
And according to you, this movie delivered in spades.
In spades, yes, and it's always exciting to see how things will be interpreted. I think it was done very well.
Mhm.
They did change. Like there was a lot in the book where you just needed to like cut out. There's a lot of internal monologues. Like in the original movie, everyone makes fun of it for like the spice.
The spice melange.
But in the book, there's a lot of like internal monologue.
Mhm.
There's a lot of it that is like italicized and everything. So that's what it made sense. Like just to explain shit.
Yeah.
They needed to do that. And there's
But first rule of movie making: show don't tell.
yeah, but like in that Dune movie, I think it was actually a better thing to tell instead of show because you can't show what the Bene Gesserit really are.
Because the special effects technology was about 50 years behind where they needed to be.
Yeah, and like the Bene Gesserit, so like they're like a coven of like political women who are like pseudo mages who are also like who also like marry into like or like become not married.
So they're trying to produce a genetically through like breeding to produce a person who can specifically a male. It's a little weird to explain, but has extrasensory powers to see like they're not psychic, but they are able to somehow gain extrasensory powers through something. It's very weird.
It's very weird, and like they have like this power to like speak in a certain way to influence people. They also like become concubines of like royal families and like higher families to influence politics. But they're also like a spy network and they're their own faction against like the trade wars. You can't really like show that. You can't show that in. You have
like
to explain it.
Like if I hadn't already known like about Dune and I hadn't already seen the miniseries and the movie, reading the book, I would be so lost.
Oh yeah, like absolutely. So like this movie definitely tried its best to like explain things in a coherent manner. There's so much to explain. It's kind of like trying to explain all of Lord of the Rings on a Post-it card. It's not really gonna work. But I think as a spectacle and as a fan of the book series, I was for it.
I'm gonna try that. Okay, I got a post-it note here.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. There's a bad magic ring. Short man throws in volcano. The end.
Yeah, but it's yes, but no.
Yeah.
Yes, but no.
Yes, but also no.
All right. But the next movie for you to do is a movie that you thought was going to be good, but ended up being bad.
Kong versus Godzilla.
Really?
Godzilla versus Kong? Which one was it? Godzilla versus Kong.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Anyway, yeah, so... Okay, so I didn't think that this movie was necessarily going to be good. I knew it wasn't going to be Oscar bait, and it's a movie about two monsters duking it out and, beating the shit out of each other in a city. Monkey and
Monkey.
So I knew it wasn't going to be high art, but I thought it was probably going to be a little bit along the lines of, like the first Godzilla.
Oh, the first Godzilla was such a good movie.
Perhaps because but it turned out to be just how do I put this? Transformered it up.
They didn't know what to do with it.
Exactly. They started off this whole monsterverse with Godzilla, and it was a very high-minded, artsy-ish film, and then they kind of took like this one. It's kind of like, okay, we're gonna fly to the center of the earth in these little space pods. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, like the first Godzilla was a disaster movie that was like an earthquake or a hurricane that is just given physical form.
Yeah.
Like
okay, in this one, Godzilla breathes fire into the earth, and then Kong jumps through the earth up to the Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I did like this one. I just didn't think they did a good job with it.
Yeah. So also one thing I was really kind of excited if they played in the sandbox a little bit more with it.
Yeah.
Was how Mechagodzilla. They were to power Mechagodzilla. They were using King Ghidorah's brain tissue.
They were using it to pilot it.
Yeah,
which is weird.
So, but what I would. It says it on in the Wikipedia synopsis.
Yeah.
And this is what I kind of guessed, but they didn't really explain, they didn't really play around with it. But Mechagodzilla was possessed and controlled after that with the consciousness of Ghidorah.
Yep.
Yep. So they didn't, but like I said, they didn't really play around with that. I think would have been really cool is they've got the screens showing the images, like what the readouts and everything.
Yeah.
Like if it had if they're looking at the screen, what's going on, and then static, and then for a second you see Ghidorah's face in the static, and then back to normal. Oh no!
I thought King of the Monsters was not a good movie either.
And it was bad. Oh, it was bad.
It was bad, but I feel like they should have. What they do, Hollywood does, is they don't really know how to do anti-heroes well at all.
Yeah,
it's always got to be a good guy or just a strict bad guy that gets blown up in the end.
Yeah.
Mechagodzilla should have been the good guy. King Kong King Kong is just being used to try to kill Godzilla because Godzilla's going around the world becoming the alpha, challenging other titans.
He's fighting around the world.
And so he's destroying stuff, right? So they're building Mechagodzilla, and the main characters don't like it because they like Godzilla, but at the end of the day, they're right.
Yeah.
They're building Mechagodzilla to kill Godzilla and King Kong, because King Kong is technically docile, but he's still growing, and eventually he's going to get too big to contain.
Yeah.
So and he's the last of his kind, and he's not obviously they could just bring in a zoologist and be any animal that's held in captivity alone, like you guys did with King Kong, is going to go, pardon the pun, but ape shit.
It's gonna go nanners.
It's gonna go bananas, and that's
he's gonna start throwing barrels left and right.
Yeah, and that's what I think the Godzilla franchise could have been. Is the main characters keep trying to put their emotions and their investments onto these.
Like Jurassic Park, they keep trying to control nature, and then nature's no.
Yeah, we didn't have any control over it. The main character, Millie Bobby Brown's character, has this affection for Godzilla, but that's wrong.
Mhm.
You know, it doesn't matter what she feels about him at the end of the day because he is just a giant, you know,
Yeah, he doesn't give a
monster.
shit.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Godzilla gonna zill.
Yeah, and that's what that's what I think the franchise really should have been. You know, it should have gone towards this really kind of like real, like not like realistic, like oh my god, what would a monster do? But
Yeah.
like, how would we react towards that? We
Yeah.
would build a giant Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
And like Mecha Godzilla shouldn't have been the bad guy at all. It should have been like, yeah, we're trying to kill Godzilla. That's the point.
That franchise is called Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that one went down the shitter real quick.
Like,
in the second
it-
movie,
it,
like
like-
immediately after
Immediately.
after the first movie, immediately. Basically, Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It was basically Power Rangers.
It was, yeah. It's like the 6 degrees of Power Rangers, basically.
Yeah. Oh my god, that should be a multiverse matchup. The Power Rangers versus Pacific Rim, and then the winner fights Mecha Godzilla.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
All right, what do you got next, Jared?
So my movie that I thought was going to be good and ended up not being good was Antlers.
Boop. Where is it? Boop.
There you go. So a little story behind this one. So first,
Story time.
Story time. So this is about a Wendigo. It's
Okay.
One of the better movie monsters that I think we could ever have,
Mm-hmm.
especially because it's actually rooted in actual myth and legends in North America, especially the Great Lakes region from the Native Americans around here. This movie was set to come out in 2019.
Like, wow, 3 years ago?
Yeah, 3 years ago. So it was supposed to release, and then the pandemic hit, and it's just been kind of rumbling around. So like this was actually like for horror fans and a lot of other fans like me were really anticipating this. So when it came out finally, it was kind of like the anticipation built
Right.
to breaking point. So it was never really going to match the hype.
Mm-hmm.
But it really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Guillermo del Toro was one of the main producers on it.
Yeah.
It was a good movie if you really like that like hometown drama kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't. It didn't really use its source material well.
Okay.
It could have been much better. It really went into like the jump scare factor and the kind of like the emotional part because it's all about how the characters dealt with emotional trauma in their past
Okay.
rather than dealing with the Wendigo.
It's basically a Babadook.
Yeah, it's a Babadook.
The monster is more of a metaphor for the trauma that the characters are experiencing.
Yes, exactly. But there's no ambiguity as that there is a monster.
Okay. So Babadook, there may or may not have been a Babadook if I recall the plots of that movie. This one, there definitely is a Wendigo.
There's 100% a Wendigo.
Okay.
But it could have been a lot better.
Okay.
So like in a lot of Algonquin and Iroquois, I gotta be honest, I don't know if that's their exact myths, but
So the first, so generally people cite the Wendigo from, like you say, the First Nations around the Great Lakes region.
Great Lakes region, yes. So one of the not like the powers, but one of the things that the Wendigo does is that it can mimic human speech, but people you know.
Okay.
So like
Like a predator.
like a predator. So like one of the things that they could have done easily is that after it kills like somebody, it's using their voices.
Yeah.
So like to try to lure people in and stuff.
Right.
So like that could there I could write a movie right now.
But
about
then
that.
again, like you said that, and I just said like a predator. Maybe
Yeah.
they were worried that people were going to be like, "That's like Predator."
Yeah, but like all you have to do is like have it behind like closed doors and have it just like a little bit distorted,
Mhm.
you know, and like as it's like shuff and like when the main characters are like trying to corner it, it's like shuffling through all these voices and stuff. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's just I don't think it did it well because like I'm gonna spoil this because I
don't plan on watching it.
yeah. So like the Wendigo like obviously kills and eats people.
Yeah.
And like you think like ripping people apart and stuff. The two people you get to see it kill on screen, it antlers them from behind and you don't see it.
Okay.
Two characters exactly the same way.
Okay.
And it's just you have such a great like
You have
monster.
You have good monster, good design,
Good design.
premise.
You have okay. First of all, the characters and the actors were amazing. Were really good. It's just that the thing that held the whole movie together wasn't as strong as it really should have to make the whole movie feel like real.
Right.
You know, the atmosphere was also really good. Like this, like kind of like the setting of like it was really this kind of more isolated, dying Oregon town.
Mhm.
You know, blends really well into like into the idea of like consumption and self degradation that comes with the Wendigo, and it's just like they kind of just it didn't. It's a family story about like a woman returning to her hometown with a monster in it, and that's not really what these horror movies really should be.
Just watch Ravenous.
Ravenous is a much better Wendigo movie. Yeah, that's another suggestion from Jared that Jimmy agreed with.
I saw Atun Shea talk about it on his YouTube channel, and I decided to go watch it. So
Anton Shea.
Yeah, I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. Next, what else you got?
Okay, a movie that you thought was gonna be bad ended up being bad.
I thought the movie I thought was gonna be bad and ended up being bad. Like I said, I don't watch movies that I think are gonna be bad.
You had this assignment and you didn't pick. You had 4 things to pick.
Yeah,
you could pick up.
I guess I don't have a lot of time anymore for things that I enjoy doing. And secondly, I don't watch bad movies. Like I decide a long time ago if I'm watching a movie and I get 5-10 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't like this movie. I don't have to watch it. That's part of being an adult. I can say that.
No, you can't. You have to watch bad movies. That's like half of this podcast.
I can bail on a situation if I want to as an adult.
Bail?
Like
you can't bail.
Yeah, I can. Like look, if I go to a party,
right,
and it's a bad party and I don't want to be there, I can leave.
No, you have to stay to the end.
Jared.
You gotta wait until all those drunk girls are stumbling through the doorway saying how much they love their best friends, and then the morning they're gonna have the same arguments with them about going to the Chipotle.
Jared, if I realize something as an adult, I don't have to do things.
We're not really adults.
I mean, yeah.
Like the bar is so low.
We've got all the technical qualifications, but let's face it. All right, why don't you tell me?
We hit that age, but we did not hit that other requirements to get that gym badge.
Yeah, exactly.
So, a movie that I thought was going to be bad and ended up being bad was Venom. Let There Be Carnage. The first Venom was not a good movie to begin with.
It was entertaining.
It was passable.
Yeah.
Passable. It was like, it got that 65 on the test.
Yeah, it was. Okay, it was Thor Dark World.
Yeah.
Definitely not the best of that situation, but it's always going to be just enough to carry you through.
Yeah, but the thing is, like the Thor the Dark World in the first Venom, is that the thing that really brought it down to was that the fact that it had so much potential, like its source material, it could have been something good.
Yeah.
Carnage is I am gonna argue, honestly, the best Marvel villain.
Okay, yeah, I could argue vociferously, but why don't you tell me why you think that is?
Well, first of all, it's the connection with Spider-Man and Venom. The fact that this is the villain that makes other villains want to be a hero. He's not just the Joker, with a symbiote. He is what the symbiotes wish they could be. Complete and total connection with their partner, with the strength, dexterity, and villainous intent to make it work. He's not just a raging inferno. It is an inferno with a mind, heart, and soul bent on carnage and destruction. That's the essence of Carnage.
He's an overpowered edgelord.
He's an overpowered edgelord, and his connection with the heroes and the villains alike make him what makes him the most powerful and I think best symbiote. And also the fact that other symbiotes literally had to be spawned in order to fight him, and it kind of works. It only kind of works.
Yeah.
And the fact that he made Venom team up with Spider-Man in order to defeat him, and kind of worked again.
Yeah.
That's why I think Venom works best as a villain because of his connection. Basically, the spawn that became a bigger villain than the original villain.
Yeah.
That's why he's a good villain.
He doesn't seem to be as popular amongst fans as Venom, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, Venom is the original edgelord, just simping over Spider-Man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, Carnage is the point of Carnage is that he and
Cletus Cassidy.
You
think of Cassius Clay, the original Muhammad Ali's original name. Please do not get those two mixed up.
I did not get this. Yeah, forget I said that.
Okay.
But Cletus Cassidy was, this horrible murderer and serial killer, and it's the last person you would want to have the symbiote. And in the movie, I got to be honest with you, this entire Venom versus Carnage, yeah, in the comic books, obviously it's Carnage 100% of the time. Yami says, "We guessing who wins, Venom versus Carnage?" No, we're talking about the movie that I thought was bad, and turns out it was actually bad, and I said it was Venom versus Carnage. I did not like that movie. I thought it was not a good movie. It's like one of those movies where they kind of just did a lot of things. They didn't really know what they wanted to do,
so they did everything.
And nothing really seemed to work with it. Nothing really seemed to blend together. It was really odd. Nothing made sense. And then the whole point of Carnage is that it's perfect symbiosis between him and his partner. The Carnage symbiote and Cletus Cassidy were, became Carnage. There was it wasn't two minds. It was one entity. And in the movie, they kind of just throw that out the window. Yeah, completely, which is really stupid.
So like the symbiote and Cletus have two different personalities.
Very different personalities. Yeah. So like, Carnage could have been an epic villain, like a really good villain, but in the end, it was terrible movie. And I don't remember really anything good about it. I also really don't like how they used the symbiotes as just these weird tendrils that just come out of clothing and stuff. Yeah. It's really weird. I don't really like it. It's kind
that seems a little bit lazy as far as the execution.
Yeah, it's very lazy. I mean, there's ways you could do a Venom movie, without it, but it seemed really lazy to me. What they really should have done, in my personal opinion, if somebody's asking.
Did they have a Stan Lee reference?
No.
They haven't had any Stan Lee references or cameos since he died. Yeah. There hasn't been there hasn't even been any I think one Marvel movie directly after his death had a poster of him in the background, but that's about it. They haven't had any references or any types of cameos like that since. Yeah,
since his death. No, so there wasn't anything like that. The way they really should have done it, it's kind of like a trilogy, Cletus Cassidy's in the background, and then Venom's introduced, and then in the second movie, Venom's off, and that's how he gets captured, because Venom just seems really weird, and then it turns out it's pregnant, and then when it goes to free Eddie Brock so it can get back to Spider-Man, that's when Carnage is born and attaches to Cletus Cassidy. It should be all in the background, building up to Cletus Cassidy.
Of course, now, spoiler alert, now that it's all one universe, we might see the Red Goblin.
Maybe.
You know who the Red Goblin is, right?
I do not know who the Red Goblin is.
Okay, strap in. So recently there was a comic book storyline where Spider-Man was able to cure Norman Osborn of his Goblin formula. Mm-hmm. He gave him an antidote to the Goblin formula. But it turned out that he, apart from, it made him uninsane, but it turns out that even uninsane, Norman Osborn is a pile of shit. So he bought the Carnage symbiote, and then he absorbed it and had it regurgitate the antidote to the Goblin formula, and then the Goblin formula and the symbiote sort of combined, and now he looks like a goblin, like a red demon type thing. Ooh. And he can make Goblin bombs from his symbiote. He can, and he's immune to fire too.
Nice.
So yeah, and then
William Dafoe is the pinnacle of what the Green Goblin can be.
The Glen Goblin.
The Glen Goblin.
That's right. I haven't seen Far From Home yet.
Not yet, but that's going to be a good movie.
Yes.
But I thought what the fight, the end of Carnage should have been is like, in my perfect world, it would be over a trilogy. Finally, the end of the death of Venom and the birth of Anti-Venom, and that's how they defeat Carnage, with Anti-Venom being the new character, then having your spinoff and everything. But like, this was not good. This was not the way Venom really should have been, or Carnage should have been, taken out.
Or they are, in the post credit scenes of all these Marvel movies coming out, they are making a big deal that there's going to be a Dark Avengers, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus is assembling a Dark Avengers.
Madam Hydra.
One of the things that they could do is someone purchases the Carnage and or the Venom symbiote, and they give that to someone who's in the Dark Avengers.
Yeah,
which is actually what happened in the comics. The Dark Avengers is actually headed by Norman Osborn. Like, he's the leader. He makes the Iron Patriot armor in the comic books, and he's like the Dark Iron Man. And then
I would rather have Justin Hammer come back.
Oh yeah. And then what's his face? The Scorpion is given the Venom symbiote, and he becomes like the Dark Spider-Man, basically.
Yeah, but like, who would be in this Dark Evil Avengers? Who are they fighting?
The Avengers.
I thought what they should have done is like set up the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, that kid from Iron Man 3 becomes like the new Iron Man, and like that's the rivalry between
Iron Lad.
Yeah, between Iron Lad and Spider-Man.
Right.
Because for head of the new, Tom Holland is like the new Steve Rogers.
Anti-Venom should have been called Antidote. That would have worked.
Yeah.
I think they really wanted to tie that character to Venom, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, the color scheme for Anti-Venom is, like, really good. That the white on black is really good.
Yeah.
Antidote works well, but it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. It's not. I think they're trying to go for more like, this character, Anti-Venom, is meant to, destroy all symbiotes, not just Venom.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it doesn't really explain in the movie how, Carnage came about. In the comic books, it's because, the symbiotes reproduce asexually and Venom was pregnant. But he just kind of like bites him and gets some of his blood and somehow.
Yeah. And like, it's a little hard to, like, we just said the rule of movies is show, don't tell. It's a little hard to kind of like go through the Eddie exposition of being like, whoa, this symbiote is reproducing asexually.
Well, no, I mean, like, in the movie, you just have Venom be weird.
Yeah.
Acting like odd. It's like, and he won't talk about it. And then as they like leave, they're like, Venom's like, uh-oh, where is it? And he's like searching around inside of like his body, like, where is it? And he's like, what? I lost it. And it turns out he was pregnant. They were pregnant, I guess. And they lost it when Cletus Cassidy bit him, like, that's a good way to do it. That's a way to organically to bring up the dialogue. But they just didn't do that. It wasn't, nothing in the movie seemed like it led to the next part.
Yeah, it was. So there was no interconnected there. It was all just. It was like separate stepping stones that they were like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, anything else you want to talk about with Venom?
I hated it. Don't watch it.
Too late. It's already got our money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else we got?
Something I watched recently and I'm starting to not like is you don't need a graphic for this one, but it's Camp Cretaceous.
I thought you were all jazzed about that.
I was. The first and second seasons were really, really good. And then the third season happened, and I'm just like, okay. So one of the characters, his character was like this very germophobic, introverted person,
Yeah.
And like it's him, and then he gets separated from the group and becomes like a wild person and everything. And like his thing is like all about like staying on the island, and like his character becomes so fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it drags it down, and like I still like the show, but it definitely does not hold the same water as it once did.
It doesn't find a way.
It does not find a way. That's a show that I feel like is kind of starting to go down and starting to wear me down a little bit.
Didn't this new season have the Spinosaurus in it?
Mm-hmm. I did like that part, but it just doesn't do it justice. I feel like the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 was just like my favorite dinosaur.
It's not the same one?
It is the same one.
Okay.
It is the exact same one. It just doesn't feel like the same one. You know.
Okay.
Right. It's like in a desert, so you see all of it, whereas it should have been like, you know, in the jungle or something.
Right. Wait, there's a desert on the island?
Just another island.
Oh.
It's on a separate island.
There's a third island?
There's a fifth island.
God damn it.
There's a lot of islands with dinosaurs.
So
with dino DNA.
So okay, so you don't tell me what it is because I might want to find out for myself. But
okay.
I read that like Dr. Wu was talking about which one is the one from Jurassic Park 3, Isla Sorna or Isla Nublar?
Isla Sorna.
So he said that there was an accident left on Isla Sorna.
Yep.
Is that the Spinosaurus?
It's never revealed. It's just kind of like it. So in the it. So this is all like this isn't from the movies or anything. This is all from like a third extra material.
Yeah.
So in the extra material, Dr. Wu says that he was in its experiments to replicate the feathers from dinosaurs.
Yeah.
He left an experiment on the island. Some people say that is either the raptors with the quills.
Yeah.
Or the Spinosaurus. I think it's the Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
Because the raptors, in my own headcanon, the raptors with the quills is the raptors kind of reverting back naturally to what they would look like.
Yeah.
Because like we went from like the raptors in the first movie that were like that brown green to the striped raptors in the second movie, and then the tried in the south with the quills and the colored patterns. So I think that's what that is. I think the experiment that went wrong was the Spinosaurus with its heightened aggression and its it's just overall dimensions that aren't Spinosaurus like.
Right. So one little thing, kind of theory I guess I read was that like so when Jurassic Park 3 came out, like they had like just discovered all this stuff about Spinosaurus. It was like a new dinosaur on the scene at that time when they were making this movie. And so like people have theorized like, okay, they had gotten this dinosaur DNA, but they didn't know what it was until they cracked it open and they realized it was a Spinosaurus.
You stupid whore. So even in the books and the movies, they don't know what dinosaur they have until they hatch it.
Okay.
So like literally like they'll clone a dinosaur and they don't know what it is until they hatch it. Also, fun fact, Jamie is right. The first Spinosaurus skeleton was found by German diggers in 1912, and it was on display partially because they only had like the neck and the spine. And they knew it was a carnivore with a spine, and it was displayed in Berlin, and it was destroyed in World War I due to bombing, or World War I or II due to bombings. So up to like that point in the 2000s, all we knew was it was a carnivore with a spine.
Yeah,
and that was about it. That was about it. What we had. Dinosaurs. Love dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, now we got all the fucking hybrids that they're going to use for military.
We're gonna shoot this dinosaur out of a cannon.
They knew that was a terrible idea, even for a movie in the first movie, and they just said, "Let's do it again, but this time let's make it worse.
Let's do it." Like the guy's like, "We're gonna make dinosaurs for the military," and like, why though?
Why? We'll point this gun at somebody and then we'll have a dinosaur eat them.
It's like, we're gonna, like, imagine this guy fighting a war. Like, we have drones that, like, you can control you can pinpoint. Like, you're gonna just, like, drop a dinosaur in there and be like, hope this works.
Yeah, like, to be fair, like, having a giant Indoraptor go into, like, a spider hole would be kind of good, but at the same time, like, why?
Yeah,
like,
and those dinosaurs have to be like what, $12 million a pop to clone.
Just to clone, and then you gotta house it, then you gotta feed it, and then you gotta be like train it.
And it's like, okay, go into this hole, and then they get shot. It's like, oh,
we just sent a giant meat sack in to do like a bomb's job. Yeah,
dinosaurs with lasers.
with lasers on their freaking heads.
Are those freaking dinosaurs with freaking lasers on their freaking heads? That's so freaking cool.
And also, I'm getting tired of Chris Pratt. I don't like him. I thought he was kind of tired out to begin with, and now I'm just kind of like, I don't really find him that good or charismatic anymore.
He's somewhat fallen from grace. Let's face it.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah,
somewhat. I can't wait for his take on Mario as a ex-military guy who's really into pipes, which is a bold take on his former character, which is science teacher who's an ex-military guy who's really into science, which is a bold take on his previous character, which was dinosaur guy who's ex-military who's really into dinosaurs.
Yeah, what was... Okay.
Who's also the bold take on his character in Zero Dark 30, who's ex-military guy who's really into terrorism.
So I know you're joking, but what was his character in Jurassic World? Because he was like in the Navy, but he also knows how to train dinosaurs
and fix motorcycles.
Yeah, and he's like, and he's wearing jeans the entire time on a tropical island.
Also, he could outrun a volcano and survive volcanic ash.
So yeah,
and also could get hit with a dinosaur tranquilizer dart and just be like fine.
He was such a bad actor that he had to go into plumbing after his stint in the military. I did a military, and then I was a bad actor, and now I'm a plumber. Yeah. It's a me,
other military guy. And then like, what's his character in like Tomorrow War, which is also a really bad movie, is just like he was a military guy, and then now he's a science guy, and now.
So is there a big old pipeline from special ops, special forces to the science guys?
Sciences.
Yeah. To like biochemical engineering.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. It basically his character kind of reminded me of Brad Pitt in World War Z.
Yeah.
It's just like random military guy. But like he kind of like his character kind of makes sense because he was in the military, but like specializing in like pandemics and like diseases. Like he was like basically a doctor, and that was it. Just not vague military stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, like what? Like why was Chris Pratt's character there? Because he's like, I was in the military. Did you specialize in training animals? No. Why are you doing this job then?
Yeah, exactly. Was there like a big need for like extinct animal trainers in the military, even before the wanting to use raptors who could be taken down by one bullet, as we see in the second movie?
He's like, did you study animal behavior while you were in the Navy? No.
No.
Why are you here?
Just in the Navy.
Okay, all right. So, oh yes, I know what it was. Movie that I thought I was gonna like that turned out didn't like. Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
Yeah, G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes.
Yeah. Oh, and Yami says I have no idea what key will sound as Toad. This whole movie sounds like it's gonna be terrible.
I disagree. Except for Chris Pratt, like the rest of the voice cast is stacked. Jack Black is fucking Bowser. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
When they're like Donkey Kong's gonna be in this movie, I'm like Seth Rogen is the voice.
I feel like, all right, I will watch it if they don't like do any CGI and they just do like really bad like makeup and effects. So it's just like do it.
They're dressed up like walk around characters at Nintendo World. Tokyo.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like Jack Black go off on it. So Mario, you've come to take the princess back, even though she's totally into me. Not in that way yet, but once we go to the mall down at the Koopa Kingdom Mall Court, you'll see that through my onion rings.
Through my sweet rock.
Luigi should be like Kevin Durant or something. Just like this guy who's like not supposed to be there. It just standing around, just being like, this is ridiculous.
Untitled Mario film. I wonder if it's gonna be called
Charlie Day is Luigi.
Yeah. Now you're on board.
I am into this now.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the cast here. Now Jarrett's on board. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key is actually a pretty good voice actor, so I'm gonna say yes. You thought it was all animated. Yes, It's going to be animated. It's probably going to be CG.
Yeah, but like I think they should get someone else besides Chris Pratt. I don't like him as as a voice actor. Like when he's doing voice acting, he's basically just doing the everyman thing, and like
Grant Armisen. Okay, at least they didn't bring. At least they didn't have what's his face? The guy who's annoying.
oh, James Gordon.
No, no, no. Well, the one who does Big Mouth.
Oh, that guy.
God, I know his name. I know his name.
He's a good comedic actor. He's just not like he's not
Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll.
Okay, this is my like unreasonable Hollywood beef. Can
Yeah.
we please stop acting like Nick Kroll is a good voice actor?
I could like him.
He's got one voice and like a handful of bad accents.
Yeah.
He always sounds like he's Nick Kroll doing a bad accent. He doesn't sound like a character. He
That's
sounds like Nick Kroll doing a bad accent.
One person I would replace Chris Pratt as Mario as is John Mulaney. I know he's kind of fallen from grace recently, but I don't know. I'd still watch that.
It's a me, Mario.
It's a me, Mario. I don't got my heart in it, Luigi. I could see that.
Okay. They gotta find at least one character for him to do. Who's a good one? Hey, what if they made him? Who's like the Funky Kong?
Donkey Kong. Yeah, it looks like I don't know. Or maybe they could just be like, who's the other princess? Princess like Daisy.
Yeah.
Just have John Mulaney voice her.
Do you remember the Mario TV show back
Oh
from like
my
the
God.
80s or 90s?
That was whack.
They would first of all they bumpered that show with a fucking live action Mario and Luigi, and they were
Yeah.
but they were like just regular plumbers like living in like New York City or something. They were just like
Also, his name is Mario, and Luigi's name is Luigi Mario.
oh yeah, so not like the live action Mario with John Leguizamo, who they should have him voice Mario.
Yes.
But yeah, there was
Or
like
Danny DeVito as Mario. I'm the plumber man. I go with I go with the pipes and I clean them out.
I could see it.
I would watch that all day.
Okay.
Start a petition. Danny DeVito as Mario.
Why did we get on this subject?
Why? How?
Oh, we were talking about Chris Pratt.
To be fair, how have we not continuously talked about this?
Because we have to continuously talk about Chris Pratt, and I don't
Yeah.
think we're into that.
No one's into that.
No one's into that at this point. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the movie that I thought was going to be good, that I thought I was going to like, turned out it was bad. Okay, thank you, Yami. Oh god, Jimmy is right. I just skipped through the Vanity Fair video on Nick Kroll. Terrible. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank
Nick
you.
Kroll,
Thank
Nick
you.
Kroll is hit or miss with that.
Thank you. Yes. I'm gonna. You know what? We're coming up on time. I'm gonna talk about.
Talk about it,
the
God.
ninja movie. I'm gonna talk the ninja movie.
Pitter patter.
So like, it's first of all, it's a GI Joe movie. Those first two GI Joe movies were steaming piles of garbage.
Well, at least the first one was at least like entertaining.
Yeah. So this GI Joe's Origin Snake Eyes is watchable, but the thing was like, I'm all about the fight scenes. I love kung fu movies. I'm used to seeing like Bruce Lee and Donnie Yen and Jackie Chan who know how to put together a fight scene.
Yeah.
And these fight scenes were very stilted. When they weren't sluggish, they were like cutting in between way too quickly. And yeah, it's just not. If it's a ninja movie, it's all about the fight scenes. It's all about the sword fights. And when I see Snake Eyes, I wanted Snake Eyes to be like smooth. You know what I mean? So Snake
Right.
Eyes is the world's greatest ninja. You want him to be like gliding through his movements and like like
Effortless.
Yeah, the ninja movie. Yeah, the ninja movie. The ninjas.
Yeah.
Wait, did I accidentally watch Three Ninjas Return from Thunder Mountain?
Oh my God, I love that movie.
With
Hulk Hogan.
With Hulk Hogan, yes.
And then like there's a random like bad like almost comical bad guy group that take over a theme park, and you're just like, what? How is this economical?
Fucking Ernest was the main henchman.
Yeah, whatever happened to Ernest?
He's still around. Let's see, what's his name?
Ernest Worrell.
No. I mean, yeah, Jim Varney was the fucking like main henchman bad guy.
He died.
No,
Scroll up.
oh, never mind. All right, let's go. Okay,
He was at Atlantis, the Lost Empire? He was Cookie?
yeah,
Oh, Beverly Hillbillies. Remember that movie?
Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain. Yeah, he was like the main martial arts bad guy. They had like a fight in the top of a roller coaster.
Yeah, and then they like link up with like this one random like the nerd girl, the stereotypical nerd girl, and then like she has like a bunch of gadgets randomly with her at a theme park, like explosives. And that would not go well over.
They let her bring in like razor tipped throwing like playing cards to this theme park.
Yeah, that would not go over well in the jumpy era of 2022.
You can't get into Disneyland with an outside water bottle.
Yeah, and she went in there with literal. I'm not exaggerating here. She went in to a children's theme park with a bag of explosives.
So yeah, okay.
She get tackled to the ground and beaten like a drum.
So let's see here. This female villain, her idea was she's escaped from prison, gather a crew, hold a theme park hostage, hope no one in the theme park notices, and her idea was to blackmail the guy who owns the theme park to give them money.
And like she has like a massive crew of like 40 dudes.
Yeah.
That's like that's like $40,000 a cut.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was let's face it, not the best movie. We thought it was the shit when we were kids.
Yes.
So.
But anyway, we have digressed so many times off this one movie.
Okay, I'm just gonna wrap it up because we can't seem to hold a thought. Okay.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe Origins, Snake Eyes, bad movie, super bad fight scenes, slow and sluggish, poorly edited.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna like it. I thought I was gonna like the sword fight scenes. I did not.
Just my negative opinion now is that what I think is happening is we have a lot of really good movie ideas that Hollywood has and these studios have. They just can't land them. They have like these good concepts like a G.I. Joe Origins movies of Snake Eyes, probably one of the coolest G.I. Joes. You could have made a really good like Uska-esque,
or even just like make him as ninja-y as possible because maybe you got to have like the hero's arc and everything, but make it smooth and like everything he like when he starts to show his skill, like everything he does, like he lands on like the head of a needle or like does like a flip and like land it's just awesome.
So like there's this movie called The Ninja Assassin, not a very good movie, but like the whole premise of that is like these ninjas can literally like melt into like darkness, like they're that good.
Yeah. Or
like something like that.
Or like Death Dealer from Shang-Chi. Make him like that, just smooth, acrobatic, and able to like spin on a dime, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just like we need good movies that are worth what the concepts are.
Yeah, get Andy Lee in some more performances. Death Dealer was the best fighter in that whole Shang-Chi movie.
Or get some of the people that worked on like The Raid or The Raid Redemption on this shit.
Yeah.
Like if you're like have this like entire movie just be like this ninja who's like effortless and everything is like that glowing, flowing thing, and then when he starts to actually having to fight people that aren't like just like cannon fodder, he's like getting frustrated and it just becomes an all-out fight. Like that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Why are two white kids in this Area 31 compound giving you better ideas?
Because reasons.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're over time, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Yami Genesis, for chiming in and asking questions and answering questions. You are a font of knowledge.
Yes.
Please tune in next week. We'll be back with all kinds of new stuff. What are we going to talk about next week? What do you think?
Next week, we are going to be talking about new shows and TV shows that just came out. We have a lot to talk about. We have.
I think 2022 they're going to start picking up because the pandemic really slowed things down. I think that they're ready to really start releasing shit.
We got The Witcher to go over. We got the Book of Boba Fett. We got everything to go over.
I'm going to do my Boba Fett homework this week. Yes.
You better.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out Big Nerd Coffee Company. Check them out on their Facebook page. Big Nerd Coffee Company. They're working on their website that will be up soon.
Yep.
Check out their what was the
Instagram.
the coffee that you drinking.
Oh yeah, Elder Bean. Elder Bean is a really good one if you like that dark roast in the morning, like I do. Dark as the darkest pits.
Dark is the darkness outside the universe ruled by Cthulhu.
Or the darkest pit, or the darkest voids outside of the blind idiot god Azathoth who slumbers.
Yeah,
endlessly.
we've read way too many of these things.
I have crippling depression now.
Thank you very much for that. Okay.
Yes.
Well, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be here next week. You have a good night. Thank you so much for joining in, Yami. It was great.
Yes, you're the MVP tonight. Thank you so much. And also, if you guys have any questions for us or topics you'd like us to go over, please don't hesitate to message us either on our Facebook or our Instagram, and we'll give you a shout out. Just leave the name, your preferred pronouns, and your question or topic you'd like us to go over, and we'll do our best to answer it in the next show.
All right. Check us out across our social media platforms, and check us out next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Fridays.
Until then, this has been Jimmy.
This has been Jarrett.
All right. I'm going to delete